All right, state-owned enterprises. So in PNG, we have what you call state-owned enterprises. So this is basically a corporate entity recognized by national as enterprise, and in which the state is the owner or the majority shareholder. In the PNG Electoral Commission President Act, they defines SOE as a company incorporated under the Companies Act that is said issued to ministers in trust for a state, a statutory body assessed by the state, or the minister as the trustee owns all the beneficial interest in the assets of the trust. So SOEs are created by the government basically as companies for them to control things like national utilities like water, power, and all these utilities. So when they do that, they can sort of, in a way, basically ensure that the companies always perform to the best of their ability in delivering services to the people. So in 2011, the current structure of the state enterprise in PNG. So when I talk about SOS, I'm talking about PNG Power and New Guinea, Water PNG, all these customs, all these state-owned enterprises, telecom, Kumul Telecom. So in PNG, when Peter O'Neill took power, his government decided to undertake major reforms. And they consolidated all the non-mining interests of the state into Kumul Consolidated Holdings, all the state's mining interest into Kumul Mineral Holdings, and the state's petroleum interest into Kumul Petroleum Holdings. So you see the structure there that I've given there. The state is there, and then you have the NEC, and after the NEC, you have the boards, and then PM is as trustee, and then you have Kumul Consolidated Holdings, you have Kumul Petroleum, and you have Kumul Minerals. So Kumul Consolidated Holdings, that's where you have Air New Guinea and Water PNG, and also PNG Power comes under. Kumul Petroleum is where the Kumul Petroleum interest in LNG, 16.8% that Kumul KPHL manages, and also a stake in the Papua LNG project. And then Kumul Minerals is the Oktedi management of the assets of Oktedi. So when you see all these sort of structures, it sort of gives you the picture of how state enterprises are running in this country. However, the problem with these state enterprises is because of the fact that they're controlled and owned by the state, politicians have a direct sort of influence in the way the management of the company is being run. So there's a lot of political interference in these SOEs. As a result, they do not perform to the best of their ability. So many of these SOEs, because of ministers sitting there and ministers politically trying to control, year by year, they are not making profits, and the government has to sort of try and rescue them all the time. So that is in direct contradiction to companies like BSP and Number One Super and all these companies that every year they seem to be making profits. Over the years, in terms of SOEs, PNG Power has really deteriorated. Currently, it has not sort of been able to deliver on its commercial mandate. And New Guinea at most times is still causing flight delays, and as a result, the profit declaring dividends to be paid back to the state is not there. Telecom PNG is doing well in its basic functions. Last time they were able to declare 8 million in profits, and this is sort of slowly and basically helping them to try and achieve some of the long and short-term goals of the company. But in the whole scale of things, these SOEs are assets of the PNG government. They're supposed to declare dividends and then contribute back to the Consolidated Revenue Fund (CRF) for the government to plan a budget on and to spend on. However, when these assets of the country are not becoming sort of profitable and viable, you will see that money that should have been spent in other sectors, we have to go again and you have to bail out these companies. This in turn, causes a lot of problems and raises a lot of queries and questions about why SOs in PNG are not functioning properly. Some of the studies they've shown that one, political interference, you need to basically clear out all the political interference and let the company run as a company. So second of all, it's the accountability and transparency mechanisms are. This board of these companies, you need to put educated, qualified people to sit on these boards. You cannot get a political appointee or supporter to sit on the boards who has no idea of what corporate governance is and will definitely run down the business. So when you're doing that, you know that you cannot sort of stay in those cases. So when this happens, you have to basically try your best to appoint independent, impartial people to these big corporations. Alright, so that's basically our lectures for the topic of corporation financial markets. You will now have the benefit of all the lecture notes and you'll be ready for the exams. All right, thank you very much. Wish you the very best.